Hello, Marc Daniel Nelson here with MakeMineMusic. Today I want to show you a little trick I have to get your mixes a little fatter and a little wider, only using EQ. Now, there's a process called midside, or MS, that allows you to split the signal into the sides only that you're EQing, or the center. And the trick I learned about 10, 15 years ago was to take the top end, put it into the sides, and then boost the bottom end and put it into the center. Now, this is a smiley face EQ, but what it does is puts the fatness into the center, keeping that structure tight, and putting the top just a little bit, feathering it up, and having a little bit of an exciter going on as well on the top end. This is something mastering guys have been doing for a long time to add a little more width and a little more fatness. It's not a very, very complicated trick. It's done only by EQ, and it's done with a plugin that anyone can really use. I have a song here by the artist Tyler Fortier called I Don't Want to Forget. And I did use this on the master and on some of the acoustic guitar instruments. And I felt like it really did help. So I'm going to play it to you first. We're going to listen to it. And I'm going to talk to you what I did. Let's take a listen.
Seeing you was like the first day of my life. Everything was magic, the world was alive. I don't wanna forget.
Okay, so what are we actually hearing here? What I've added to the stereo bus is, if you can see, a FabFilter Q3. Now what this does is it lets me split off my mid section and my side sections into two bands. Now if I went and, let's say, high passed all the way up and just listened to what we were doing here, we'd be able to see that the sides are pushing out with the EQ. And I want to take this in and out. Do you notice that the vocals are gone? So if you bring it down,
I'm calling out to you. Seeing you was like the first day of my life.
So what it's doing, obviously, is it's shoving, the hard, bright tops, everything above 10K, to the left and right. Now, everything in the center, like the vocals and the snare and the drums that are kick, punch, centric, stuff that has low end in it, is in the center. So you won't really hear that. So when you take that off, and let's say you solo this area, that's what we're going after. That's the stuff that's going to be sent to the left and to the right width. So you're actually widening the top end by adding that little bit of an excitement. So you would add a little bit of the dynamic here, pull it up a bit. Now, if you set your range to 3 dB, you can see that it's only hitting about a dB total. So starting with that would be a little easier, but I'm hitting maybe half dB of gain, and then I'm dynamic expanding that area up another maybe half dB. And same in the low end. So my low end is middle. So if I low pass the whole thing out, let's try that now.
I'm a reflection.
So this is out.
An illuminated backdrop. I am someone gone too soon.
And then here's within.
I'm a reflection, a shadow on the moon, an illuminated backdrop. I am someone gone too soon. I'm calling out to you.
Let's go back and listen to that again.
I'm a reflection, a shadow on the moon, an illuminated backdrop. I am someone gone too soon. I'm calling out to you. I'm calling out to you. Seeing you was like the first day of my life.
You can see that's a little too much.
Everything was magic, the world was alive. I don't wanna forget all of these things I've got buried in my chest.
You're getting that nice circular kind of surrounding your head sound that the frequencies of the snare and the acoustic instruments that are really bright and beautiful are starting to create this movement, and it's really cool. Now, listening to the low end, what that's doing is it's putting punch. So it's expanding everything below 100 hertz very slightly by pulling it up every time the kick drum hits. So that's pretty much it on the master bus. Let's go down to the acoustic guitars and see what we have. Now I have another one here that goes on the sides, and it's expanding just the top. So if I put a range on 3, maybe adding a dB of top and maybe another dB of expansion. So if I take it off, it doesn't feel as wide and alive. Take it out.
I don't wanna forget all of these things I've got buried in my chest.
It's dancing now. You watch it, it's very subtle. It might not do it all the time, but when it does do it, it's creating that expansion, which is almost like an exciter, which is almost creating excitement.
I don't wanna forget.
Just the drums. That's with. That's without. So listen to the center. The kick drum gets fuller, comes up a little bit. Yeah, very subtle, but what it does is pretty spectacular. So what if we take out all the EQ on this entire song that we put in for the MS style EQ? Let's just try that. Let's take out all that.
I don't wanna forget all of these things.
And then here's with.
I don't wanna forget.
The kick is fatter in the center. The bottom of the vocal actually has a little more fatness. The acoustics are pushed out of the way of the center. Now you got to be very subtle with this thing. Use the 15% rule where you feel like, oh, this is fantastic. It sounds amazing. Come back. Because what happens is you get really used to the sound always sounding better if it's brighter or louder. And you think it's better, but then stepping back from it, you notice, oh, that doesn't sound as good. So the key is to always go, this sounds pretty good, and then come back 15%. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much the trick. It's not really aggressive. You can get really aggressive with it, but you can get really out of hand very quickly and then ruin your mix. I would keep it subtle as you can, come back, and then always add a tiny bit more if you feel like it needs it later after you have a listen. Just use it sparingly in the sense that don't go overboard because your mixes will suffer. Add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Doesn't need tons and tons and tons of stuff. And enjoy yourself. Have fun.